What's going on YouTube? Chase here in Aftershock videos, and today I have built another deck request, and this is the Magical Musketeers. I don't think I've ever played any of these cards ever, because I don't believe I don't think they're that strong. I believe they have potential to be more interactive, or reactive I should say, than interactive, because they do have some pretty good traps like Desperado. This one lets you target a face-up card on the field and destroy it. And I did notice that a lot of these Magical Musketeers say that you can activate their Magical Musket spell or traps from your hand. So that is pretty cool. So, I mean, besides that, this is about what I came up with. They do have a little bit of trouble summoning themselves besides one at a time. And the only other thing I could see was the Magical Musketeer Max, which this one's pretty good. It's a link 1 and just requires one Magical Musket monster that's level 8 or lower. But basically, if you're going second, this is the one you want to get on the field, because depending on how much board presence your opponent has, I mean that ties into the effect of this card. This one says if this card is link summoned, you can activate one of these effects. First effect is add Magical Musket spell or traps with different names from your deck to your hand up to the number of monsters your opponent controls, or special summon Magical Musket monsters with different names from your deck up to the number of spells and traps your opponent controls. So, depending on the board presence, this one is good, but however, it does seem to be very circumstantial. So, literally depending on your opponent's board is how good this card is. So let's just go ahead and go for the card by card. I have 2 Magical Musket Mastermind. This is a level 8, 2500 attack and defense, and it says you contribute summon this card face up by tributing 1 Magical Musket monster. During either player's turn, you can activate spells and traps, Magical Musket spells and traps from the hand, of course, because that's how all of their monsters are. It says once per turn during your opponent's end phase, you can draw cards equal to the number of Magical Musket spell or trap cards you activated this turn while this card is face up on the field. So, depending on how many of these you get to play, it could be a pot of greed, it could be a jar of greed, So just depending on that, but it is a level 8 that you can easily summon out with Magical Musketeer Max. So that's not the worst. Next, we have 2 Parallel Exceed, because we do have some link summonable monsters, so Parallel Exceed could come in handy. We have 1 Magical Musketeer Wild. This is a level 4, 1700 attack, 900 defense. It's got the same spell and trap from hand effect. Then it says you can target 3 Magical Musket cards in your graveyard, shuffle all 3 into the deck, then draw 1 card. So it's a little mini pot of avarice. Next, we have 3 Magical Musketeer Calamities. It's got the same first effect as the rest of them, with 1500 attack and 1300 defense, level 4. This one's effect is you can target 1 Magical Musket monster in your graveyard, special summon it in defense. So, I mean, that's pretty good, but, again, however, it does require for a spell or trap to be activated in this card's column. So, depending on where you set it, this is some of these are basically like, you almost want to have, put in the same column as like an Imperm or something like that, because, like I said, this deck seems to be a little bit more reactive than interactive, as far as having a bunch of responses. So, I mean, that one's not too bad, because you get a free special. You can target 1 monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So, I mean, that one's pretty good. Next, we have 3 Magical Musketeers Starfire. This is a level 4, 1300 attack, 1700 defense. And this one reads, if a spell or trap card is activated in this card's column, except during the damage step, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower Magical Musket monster from your deck in defense position. So this one special summons from the deck. So this is more of the card that we want to see. So that one's pretty good. Next, we have 1 Magical Musketeer Kid Brave. It's a level 3, 1600 attack, 200 defense. It says if a spell or trap card is activated in this card's column, you can discard 1 Magical Musket card and then draw 2 cards. So it's got a little built-in pot of greed -1. So really we need to play 1 of those. Next, we have 3 Magical Musketeer Docks. This one is a level 3, 1400 attack, 1200 defense. If a spell or trap card is activated in this card's column, you can add 1 Magical Musket card from your graveyard to your hand, but not a card with the same name as the activated card. So this one allows you to in response to a spell or trap in the card's column. You can, if after you, let's say, used Magical Musket Cross Domination, you can add Desperado from your graveyard to your hand if that's, you know, the case. So this one's a little circumstantial, but adding stuff to your hand from the graveyard is not bad. Next, we have 3 Magical Musketeer Casper. This is a level 3, attack 1200, defense 2000, so that's not too bad. If a spell or trap card is activated in this card's column, except during the damage step, you can add 1 Magical Musket card from your deck to your hand, but not the card with the same name as the activated card. So this one's a little bit better than Doc, because this one specifically adds a Magical Musket card from your deck to your hand instead of just, you know, circumstantial in the graveyard. So Casper is really good. Next, we have 2 Ash Blossoms, 2 Effect Veilers, 2 double summons, because like I said, it's kind of a little bit harder to special summon out of here just because the deck is so reactive. Next, we have 1 Monster Reborn, 2 MST, 2 Forbidden Droplets, 1 Magical Musket Steady Hands. This is a quick effect spell, and it says target 1 Magical Musket monster you control. Its attack and defense become doubled its original attack until the end of this turn. It cannot attack directly during the turn you activate this card. So unfortunately, you know, you couldn't like game with this card. However, you know, unless your opponent has a weaker monster and they're low on, you know, life points, then this card could come in clutch. Next, we have 2 Magical Musket Cross Dominations. It's another quick play spell. It says, if you control a Magical Musket monster, target 1 face-up monster on the field. Until the end of the turn, change its attack and defense to 0. Also negates its effect. So that is pretty good. Next, we have 3 Imperms, 3 Magical Musket Desperados. This is if you control a Magical Musket monster, target 1 face-up card in the field and destroy it. That's very simple, but pretty good, especially considering you can activate these from hand with a Magical Musket monster. So next we have 2 Ice Dragon's Prison, 1 Magical Musket Crooked Crown, originally called Bloody Crown, so I almost wish they kept some of these older ones because they sound cooler. This one says you can only control 1 Magical Musket Crooked Crown. During the main phase, you can special summon 1 Magical Musket monster from your hand, and if you do, if your opponent's main monster zone in that monster's current column is unused, that zone cannot be used until the end of this turn, even if this card leaves the field. So a little bit blocks board presence in case somebody has a deck that can special summon specifically, like a lot of cards. So this one is okay. It's during your main phase, you can special summon a monster from your hand. You know, unless you have more than 1 in your hand, it's not going to be that great. But, you know, again, you can only control 1, so it's not like you can like OP with this. But so next we have 1 Magical Musket Fiendish Deal. This says magical monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card or effects. If this card is in your possession is sent to the graveyard by an opponent's card effect, you can target 1 Magical Musket card in your deck or from your deck or graveyard and add it to your hands. So this one's okay. It specifically needs to be destroyed by your opponent's card effects to be, you know, to be actually really useful, but the slight protection is nice. And then next we have 2 Magical Musket Last Stands. This one says when your opponent activates a spell or trap card while you control a Magical Musket monster, negate the activation. If you do, destroy that card. So there again, we have more protection. Now moving to the extra deck, we have of course the 3 Magical Musketeer Max. We do have 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Nightmare Unicorn, 1 Access Code Talker, 1 Unchained Abomination, because it's not too... With these, it's not super hard to get into a Link 4, so Abomination is just a great card. Of course, we have, since we have 2 level 8s, we do have the Draglubion package, the number 100, the Harbinger, and the Draglubion. Next, we have 1 Daigusto Emerald. This one just requires 2 level 4s, and then you detach 1 material. You can target 3 cards in your graveyard, shuffle them, a little Pot of Avarice with a draw card with a draw 1, and then, or you can target 1 non-effect monster in the graveyard, special summon that target, which we don't have. Next, we have 1 Castell, the Sky Blaster Musketeer. Takes 2 level 4s, got 2,000 attack, 1,500 defense. It says you can detach 1 material from this card, then target 1 face-up monster you control, or on the field, sorry, and then change it to face-down defense position. So this is Book of Moon. It says you can detach 2 materials from this card, then target 1 other face-up card on the field, shuffle it into the deck. So not too bad. It does target, so I mean it's not an omni use, but not too bad. Next, we have, of course, 1 Tornado Dragon, just to deal with back row, 1 Time Thief Redoer, and then, of course, we have 1 Zeus. So, guys, that'll do it for the card by card. Let's go ahead and get to the matches and see how well this archetype works. Alright, guys, so here we are in our first EDO Pro match with the Magical Musketeers. And let's see if this deck is any good. I've never played it before, so we will go. We'll go first, I guess, just to see if we can set up board presence. So this one isn't too bad. Let's set up a Bloody Crown. Double summon would have been nice here. Let's see. We can either summon magical dock. Either way, we want to go into the... Oh, we can't go into the link yet. So I guess we can... Let's set dock, I guess. You can discard one magic. If this... anything's activated in this column, you can discard a card, draw 2 cards. Okay, well, you know, this one might be better. Let's go ahead and put this in the same column as the trap card. And I guess we'll keep the parallel exceed. We'll just go from there. Let's just see what happens. Alright, again, activate the Crooked Crown. Yes, we'll get a special summon from hand. Set the dock over in this column. Let's see if that works. This is a continuous spell, so I can put it there. We did activate. You could discard 1 magical Musketeer monster, and then we'll draw 2. Send that. Got an Ash. What can you do? So we're going against live twins, or yeah, live twins. There's a Kisa kill right there. Yep. Did he misplay? This was not a threatening board, but all right. Unless I'm underestimating this deck, and you know what? I'm not gonna say that counted. So let's go ahead and get into another one. All right, guys, here we are in another match. Let's see if we can do anything. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. This deck has not been very good. I've been trying to get into a lot of duels, and it's just, I think it's just, this deck format is just a little too slow for present day Yu-Gi-Oh! So, I mean, if I win or lose this one, it doesn't really matter to me at this point. Yeah, like, see, like, that's my best play for first hand. I think it's just that this deck is too reliant on being reactive that it can't be proactive, almost. I got a 54 deck card deck. He's Scrap Raptor. Well, Ash. And I will say, I was excited to play this one at first, but now that I've actually played it, it's, you know, I started reading their effects. They're not good anymore. That's what I want to say. They're not good anymore. They're just too slow. Like, that's it. You know, they rely on the, more or less the back row. So, don't have a whole lot going on with this deck. So, I mean, we'll see if we can get a win. If not, you know, there's just some archetypes you can't really be super good with, I guess. I mean, somebody could do something, but, you know, they're fiends, they're lights. So, you know, I couldn't even mix them in with Unchained, but then they'd just be right in the back of Unchained. Main phase 2. Guess we could set this behind the Starfire, because then we'd be able to special summon on the deck and defense. I haven't seen. This is like, I played like 6 games. I've had 4 people quit, or you know, lose connection or surrender because I ashed them firsthand, or I just been beaten twice by Dark Magicians, twice by Exo Sisters. I mean, this deck it's just been hard. Really hard to get some really good stuff with this deck. I don't know if I'm getting lucky. We'll set that. Normal summon another Magical Musketeer. I'm not going to complain too much. Battle, I guess. I don't know if this guy bricked or what. Guess I could have Ice Dragoned and got the Scrap Raptor on field. For extra damage. And yeah, I probably should have did that because I literally could have just won. But I mean, we have a bunch of reactions, so if this guy has got something, he better do it now. Once per turn, you could target one other face-up card you control, destroy it. I just want the effects at this point. Get the MST. Pop that. Yeah, special summon from deck. Unless he draws like 3. If 3 of these cards are ashes, that'd be hilarious. There's one. Now could I Ice Dragon's Prison the? I've never Ice Dragon Prison an ash before. Let's try. Let's skip. Oh no. It's fine. I wasn't even expecting to get that far. It's fine. No. Magician Souls. This card is in your hand. No, not yet. Now, what's the response? Is that it? Is he gonna pendulum summon? Metal Foes combination. I mean, I don't see where this is going. This got Scrap Raptor, Dark Magician Souls, and no, go ahead. I can draw two cards. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. No, that's fine. So Metal Foes, Magician Souls, Scrap Raptor. This is an odd deck. I don't think I've seen this combination of cards before. Oh, no. Here's Spoony Boys. Well, that's a little bit of something. Wait to see if he attacks. I want to keep my board presence the way it is. If I activate Ice Dragon's Prison, this is a beast. I kind of don't want that to happen. Yeah, you know what? Let's... I'm not a fan of the cross sheep. The cross sheet's worthless now. And I should be able to activate Musketeer Dock. Let me add a Musket card from Graveyard. Psychic and Psychic. Is there a Psychic in the Graveyard? So I need to get rid of... no. Did I get my add to hand yet? Okay, so apparently I don't get my Musketeer Dock ad. Oh, what's this? Oh, fusion. Okay, there's one Psychic in the graveyard, so that's good. AP Masquerena. What does this do? If this person in the graveyard took one card on the field, destroy it. Okay. Well, obviously I'm gonna use it. I mean, this is an odd. I've never played against a Parametal Foes actual deck. If this is what it actually is, I have no idea. Silver. Okay, Parametal Fusion. Okay, I can still hit over that. Just to draw a card. Hey, what does this card do? Okay. Oh, that's kind of a problem. It's a link 2, 4,300. He gets to destroy. Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Ooh, yeah, that's not good. And you can attack. Main phase 2, we could pop something. Yeah. Oh boy. What am I gonna do with this? Yeah. See, this deck is just too slow. I'm just gonna go ahead and surrender. Yeah. I mean, I didn't see my forbidden droplets. I could have added more, I guess, but you know, there's not a lot of cards you can. You know, if you want to stay true to the archetype, I mean, there's just not a lot of back and forth. I'm not a fan of this one. I think this deck is way past its prime. But, you know, I figured I'd give it a try. Somebody suggested it, so I figured I'd give it the honor to at least test drive it. I mean, I couldn't have put any more better cards in there. I don't think in EDO Pro anyways. But it is what it is. All right, guys, so that'll do it for the Magical Musketeers. I think they're a little past their prime right now, especially in modern day Yu-Gi-Oh. This deck seems to be a little too slow to be anything like super good. But I mean, it was fun. It was fun to try. I mean, somebody suggested it, and I figured I'd give it a shot. So, I mean, with our big toolbox extra deck, and you know, even these high-priced cards, just goes to show that not even those can really get the Magical Musketeers to really come out on top. So, I guess that'll do it, guys. So, let me know what you think of this archetype down below. Let me know what you do differently, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It means a ton to me. Don't forget to check out my Patreon. Don't forget to check out my TCGPlayer account. If any of these cards interest you, I will leave the link below in the description. And don't forget to check out the Aftershock videos merch. Got lots of cool stuff there. And don't forget to check out my Instagram. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.